Chukma Sahojifo Fani Iskanosi. Hello, my name is Little Squirrel, also known as Sherry Begay, and today I'm going to be talking to you about Uniscript Chickasaw and Chickasaw sounds. All right, Uniscript Chickasaw. There's been questions over the years. Many students are new to Chickasaw and they don't know how to pronounce the words. So let's see what we have. Pronunciation problems. So someone might have a problem pronouncing Chickasaw words because they're new to the language. Maybe they've never heard it. They don't know how the words are pronounced. You can guess at it. Or another issue that comes up with pronunciation problems is you know how the word sounds and you're trying to explain it to someone else, writing it online in text in social media, and you're trying to use phonics, phonetic writing, and they still don't know what you're trying to say because who knows if they're saying it the way you're trying to write it. Also, another problem is a student doesn't know how to create the sound. So we have some characters, well, especially one in particular that doesn't have an English equivalent. And so try as you might to get the student to say, or the person that's trying to learn to say the sound correctly, they still might not say it correctly. So these are some pronunciation problems. Here are some example words of problems that you'll run into. These are pretty common ones, run into them many times. Let's take bana, for instance, as the first example. Bana means to want. And you'll notice that bana has the first A in the word does not sound like the second A. So let's take a look. It's bun, bana. So this first A doesn't sound the same. It sounds more like a U. Let's take another example. Chukma. This is like probably the most common word in the Chickasaw language. It means to be good. It is good. She is good. He is good. They are good. We use it for hello, chukma. You can say an chukma. I feel good. Um, However, the O doesn't sound like an O. It sounds like a U. Chukma. So you don't really hear people saying chokma, chokma, unless they don't know the language. So how do you know it's supposed to sound like a U? Chukma. Here's another example. Talit. Talit. It's spelled talit, but it used to be spelled with a U, talit. It's really pronounced talit. And so the A sounds like a U, but the I doesn't sound like an I. Talit sounds like an E. All right, so the I sounds like an E. Talit. So in the old way, this probably would have been spelled with a U and an E. Okay, here's another word. You might guess how this should sound, obby, but you would be incorrect. It is pronounced ubby, ubby. So the first A sounds like a U again, and the I, how does that sound? E, B. Sounds like an E. So how would you know this? Maybe a person who's new might pronounce it abe and not know that that's incorrect. Abe? No, it's ubby. Okay, here's another word. Ishi. Ishi. This is another example of the first I does not sound like the second I. Oh, I forgot to mention this talit means rock, abi means to kill, and ishi means to pick it up or take it. So ishi, the first I sounds like I, but the last I sounds like E. Ishi. Okay, so these are some problems that learners run into that they face when they're just starting to learn. Okay, the LH sound. This is probably the hardest consonant in the whole Chickasaw language. because there's no English equivalent. We have three consonants that are letter combinations that never get broken up: CH, SH, and LH. LH, they've got some uh, guides to try to help people to say this sound with some English words, but even though the people try it, I still don't find that they get a good pronunciation. So this LH sounds like, it's like taslape, or asithla, slabanka. So that can be difficult for new learners. All right, so here is the standard Chickasaw alphabet. Each vowel has three forms: short, long, and nasalized. If you're used to seeing a nasal vowel with it underlined, you'll notice I use the ogonek, which is the correct way to do that from the IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet. So that is a nasal A. Then I have an I. We have I, which has three forms: short, long, and nasal. Notice the long vowels are just two of the same. And then we have O, same thing: short, long, and nasalized. Okay. If you're wondering why the ogonek, it's because the when you accent above, which we have a lot of accents, then you can't put the diacritic remark above it. It just doesn't look good that way. Okay, so we also have these basic letters: B, CH, FH, K, L, there's our LH, MN, NG, and then P, S, SH, TW, and Y. Okay, notice we don't have a Z, we don't have an R. These are not part of our alphabet. Okay, so problem areas I've noticed over the years, and let me just say, I've been conservative estimate, I've had over 10,000 hours of studying and teaching Chickasaw, probably a good over 4,000 hours teaching and the rest studying. So these, what I have noticed over the years is that vowels and the LH are big problem areas, and that vowels can make or break the pronunciation of a word, and the LH. We have the other sounds that are not represented in this standardized alphabet, like you heard in earlier words, E and U, so E, for example. And then students are unsure how to create the right sound. So these are, again, these are problems with this, just the plain alphabet. Okay, so Uniscript Chickasaw, what is it? Uniscript Chickasaw, and how does it help? It is a phonetic alphabet. It uses, so totally phonic. It uses symbols to indicate how to produce the required sound. So by looking at the symbols, you know what to do with your mouth to create the sound. The symbols are called visemes, and these visemes allow a person to become technically literate in a very short period of time. They're very easy to learn, very quick, and children will get them very quickly. Okay, there are many versions of Uniscript alphabet. Some examples are Hawaiian, Navajo, Hebrew, Portuguese. They're being used around the world. Uniscript alphabets were created through a totally phonic and intuitive linguistic technology by a team of educational linguists at the University of Nations in Hawaii. And so they developed this to solve these types of problems in languages that were unwritten as well as written. Uniscript Chickasaw vizims, these ones that we're going to look at, were designed by myself, Sherry Begay, with the guidance of Marcia Suzuki, who is a linguist and a phonologist. She was on the team of educational linguists that created the Uniscript technology, And she is the dean of the Linguistics College at University of the Nations in Hawaii. So excellent guidance there. What are the four main purposes of Uniscript Chickasaw? It helps with correct pronunciation, which we all need. It helps with phonological awareness, which is needed for literacy. So when children are learning to read or they're preparing to read, they need to be aware of what they're doing with their mouth. So phonological awareness is really important to prepare for reading. It promotes cultural identity. How does it do that? Because each Uniscript alphabet is customized to that language group. So I personally built or designed the Visemes around our cultural designs. And finally, it helps with speech therapy. So if a person has having issues trying to produce different sounds, so it's great for speech therapy. Again, that goes back to phonological awareness. Okay, so let's look at the Chickasaw alphabet. First, let's go over short vowels and nasal vowels. So we have short, long, and nasal. So this is so easy for you to understand. So this one line here means that your mouth is only a little bit open. So let's make that sound. E, E, it's just a little bit open. This one, your mouth is a little bit open, and these two dots represent your nose holes. So it's going through your nose. E, E. So this is a nasal sound. E. This two lines shows that your mouth is mid open. So that would be eh, eh. So e, e, eh. Two lines, but this one has a curve, means that your tongue is a little bit curved. So you get uh. So this is eh, little open, rounded tongue, So your tongue is kind of rounded there. Now, if your mouth is midway open, but your mouth is rounded, you get oh, oh. And this is oh, like in code, oh. Now, if you go through the nose, these two little dots representing the nose holes, you get oh, oh. So that is a nasal sound. If your mouth is wide open, these three lines show your mouth wide open. Ah, ah. So that would be an ah sound. And then finally, wide open mouth and through the nose. Ah, ah. So none of these are restriction in the airflow. So these are vowels. Okay, now long vowels is just a matter of putting two of the same symbol together. So it's just longer. So E, O, Ah. Okay, not hard, right? Pretty easy. Let's look at consonants. Consonants are created by some sort of constriction of your mouth organs, stopping some air. So this first one here is your lips together. So that would be p, p. That's like a P sound, p. The next one has vibration. That little dot sounds for vibration in your lips. And you can feel that here if you put your hand, and that's b, b, which is a B sound. The next one, your lips are closed, and you guessed it, these two dots are your nose. So what do you get? Mm, mm. Now this counts as a consonant, but it's kind of the absence of sound. This circle representing your glottis here in your throat, and the X meaning that it's stopped down. We call this a glottal stop, and it's like the space between uh-oh, where you go So this is a glottal stop, so it stops down. This, your glottis is open and the air is coming out, so that's which is like an H sound. Here, your mouth is opening up, so wah, wah, which is like a W, wah. Now your tongue curved back is k, K, like a K sound, K. If your tongue is curved back and through the nose, you get which is like an NG sound. Now this one here, middle line, represents your tongue going straight up and just a little bit of air coming out the sides of your tongue. So which is like an L sound. This one here is the first one that I created, and I created it based on The Spider Brings Fire, which is a traditional story. And you usually see the spider body here with the legs coming out. But in this case, this middle line represents your tongue again. And you've got two lines coming out the side on the top and bottom. So that's more air and spit. So let's put our tongue up there and have air and spit coming out the sides of our tongue. That is your LH sound. So that's what you want to go for when you're doing LH. Okay, next one. We have this arrow pointing up. And that is your tongue pointing up to the roof of your mouth. T, t. So that's like a T sound. If you put the tongue straight up and through the nose, you get which is an N sound. When your tongue is rounded in the back, you get ye, like a Y, like yellow. Ye. When your tongue is rounded, but you have air constricted coming out, you get ch, ch, which is a CH sound. Ch, ch. When you have your teeth down, this little half or part of a square is representing your tooth, and then restricted air, you get f, f, which is an F sound. Two lines coming out of your mouth with a little bit restriction is sh. And then we have one more, which is three lines. And that is the SH sound. Shh. So this is a little bit, and then more, shh, like a water pipe. All right, so those are all the sounds, Uniscript Chickasaw. So let's see how we can use these sounds. Let's solve some pronunciation problems using Uniscript Chickasaw. So let's go back to the words that we previously looked at. Let's take bunna, for example. How would we actually write this in Uniscript? How would it sound? Okay, so bunna, we would have the lips together with vibration, b, b. And so it's lips together with this little dot for vibration, mid-open mouth with a rounded tongue, so b, Then we need our tongue up to the roof of our mouth and going through the nose, And we need another one, and then mouth wide open, ah. So b, ah, bunna, bunna, bunna. All right. So that solves that pronunciation problem. And you can easily show somebody you're trying to communicate this to so that they know what to do with their mouth. Next one, let's take the word chukma. Chukma, so we need our tongue rounded like as in Y, like ye, but restricted air, so ch. So that covers the ch sound. Then for this sound, we need a mid-open mouth, but a rounded tongue. So ch, like a U, ch, Tongue is back, k, so chook, chook, ch, Lips together and through the nose, that's this one. And then mouth wide open, ah, chukma, chukma. Great, now you've got the correct pronunciation of chukma. It's not chokma. Okay, now let's look at tully. Tully means rock. Okay, so we've got our tongue up to the roof of our mouth, t. Then we have a mid-open mouth with a rounded tongue. Uh. Then we have our tongue straight up and a little bit of air coming out the sides. L. And then our mouth barely open. E. And then remember this one, our glottis is stopped down, and that is representing a glottal stop here. So t, l, e. So that cut it off. Tully, tully. So we don't drag it out. The glottal stop being there. If it wasn't there, it would be tully, but because there's a glottal stop, it's tully. All right. Okay, Ubby. How would we write that and solve this pronunciation problem? We have a mid-open mouth with a rounded tongue, so lips together, vibration, b, b. And then little bit open mouth, e, b, e, a b, a b, a b. Okay, so that solves that one. Let's try is she, is she. Is she means pick it up or take it. So is mid-open mouth, eh. And then we know that sh is a lot of air coming out, shh, like a water pipe, shh. And then a little bit open, e, sh, e, is she, is she, is she. All right, great. That one's solved too. Let's look at the number 5, a little bit longer word. So here's the number 5, taslapi, taslapi. Ooh, you might have trouble saying this one, but not with the Uniskript Chickasaw. So we'll put the T up, put the tongue up to the roof of the mouth for t, rounded, mid-open mouth with a rounded tongue, so ta. Then this is our LH sound. Remember, the middle line is your tongue going straight up and lots of air and spit coming out the sides. So ta, ta. And then the next one, we need another one. And then wide open mouth, ah, ah. And this one, your glottis is stopped down, lips together, p, and a little bit open mouth, e. So let's put it all together. T, ah, p, e. Tal, slap, p. Taslapi, taslapi. Great. That one's solved too. Oh, here's one that people have issues with. Goodness. Saholchifowat. Saholchifowat means my name is. My name is. So I can say Saholchifowat funny iskanotsi. My name is Little Squirrel. So let's see how we would write this in Uniscript Chickasaw and solve a pronunciation problem. So here we have S, so that's not as much air coming out as SH. So S, maybe like a snake. S. And then a wide open mouth, ah, sa. And then your glottis is open and the air is coming out. So sa. Then a mid-open mouth but rounded mouth. So o, sa, ho. And then the tongue straight up and lots of air and spit coming out. Whole. So put it together with o, and you get whole, whole. So next one, we have the rounded tongue as in Y and restricted air. So ch, ch, and that covers our CH sound, ch. Little bit open mouth, E, E. Tooth down and air restriction, f, f. Mid open mouth, rounded, O. Mid open mouth, rounded tongue, tongue up to the top of your roof, t. Let's put it all together. S, sa, o, ho, ch, E, f, o, ut, sa, holch, chi, fo, ut. Sa, holch, chi, fo, ut. Sa, holch, chi, fo, ut. Great. Another pronunciation problem solved. Okay, let's do some longer words. Here's one really common, chapisalacho. It means I'll see you later. Okay, chapisalacho. Let's look at this one and put it together. So we've got a rounded tongue as in Y, restricted air, ch, ch. That is our CH sound. Then we have a mid-open mouth, I, so ch, ch. Then our lips together, p, p. A little bit open, E, P, ch, P. A little bit of air like a snake, S, S. Wide open mouth, Ah, so sa. So chi or che, P, sa. And then the tongue up, L. Open mouth, Ah, so la. Glottal stop, and then back to our CH sound, which is your tongue rounded and air constriction, ch. And then mid-open rounded mouth, O. Let's put it all together. Che, pi, sa, la, la, cho. Che, pi, sa, la, cho. Che, pi, sa, la, cho. Che, pi, sa, la, cho. Great. Okay, here's Toklakapa. Ooh, this one is a little bit challenging, right? It means a party, or like an old-fashioned birthday party is the example. Toklakapa. Toklakapa. This one is a challenging one for students. So let's see how we would solve the pronunciation with Chickasaw Uniscript. We've got a tongue going up, t, mid-open mouth, rounded, O, tongue back, k, toke, toke. Tongue up with air coming out, air and spit coming out the sides of the tongue. Wide open mouth, ah, so hla, toke, hla. And then tongue back, k, k, k. Wide open mouth, but through the nose, so ka, k, is ka. And then teeth down with restricted air, f, f. Wide open mouth, ah, and glottal stop. So fa, fa. Let's put it together. Toke, oak, hla, ka, fa. Toke la ka fa. Wonderful. Okay, this one is oblashash. Fun word to say, but I wanted to give you an example of long vowels. This means yesterday. Oblashash. Oblashash. So O, we've got mid-open mouth, rounded O, lips together, B, tongue up, L, Ah, Ah. So this two ahs together is a long vowel, Ah. And then more air coming out, shh, like a water pipe, shh. And then ah, shh. So let's put this together. Ob, la, shash. Ob, la, shash. So finally, I want to tell you that we have a new book out. It's available. We have a link in the description below. And this is Initial Introduction to Uniskript Chickasaw, where you can read more about these symbols and how they're used, these visemes and how they're used to give proper pronunciation of the Chickasaw language. So you can download that at the link below. And then if you want to try these symbols out for yourself, download the fonts at the link in the description so you can play around with it. So we've got a regular font and then the keyboard layout so you can see which keys you can use on your computer to type Uniscript Chickasaw. All right, so that's all for now. And I hope you enjoyed this. Hopefully next time we will cover things like syllable division. All right, have a great day. Chapisalacho.